Are you ready? Because we're live.
I'm ready.
What is up, everybody? As you can see, I have a very, very special person beside me. Somebody I've been trying to get on a live stream since I've started live streaming. This is my wife, Dory.
Hi.
I was going to say hi. Wait. So yeah, we're sorry for being late, guys. We were having just a little bit of technical difficulties before we started. Got a new camera, trying to get it to work. Y'all know how that is. But we're gonna have a pretty good conversation. We're gonna talk about breeding bettas today and what our process is and versus other people's. You know, everybody does everything a little bit different. So how long have we been doing it? Like, would you say?
I'd say we've been doing it for about 2 years.
About 2 years.
Yeah.
So we got a little bit of experience.
A lot of trial and error.
Yeah, a lot of trial and error. I mean, so like when we're trying to figure out, obviously when we're breeding bettas, we got to figure out like what kind we want to breed. You know, how do we pick out, which ones we want to breed? Like, what are the different kinds that that are available to us here where we live?
Well, definitely for sure, you want to make sure that when you breed, they're going to be two of the same type of beta, fin type, because you don't want to make undesirable betas that you're going to be stuck with 100 of them that you can't get rid of. That's for sure.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. As far
so
as
we've done half moon, we've done plackets, and we've done crown tails. Yeah.
And the crown tails have been the hardest for us though. Like as far as survival rate. Like
the survival rate's been very low.
Right now we've only have 3 or 4 of them that are in the grow out right now.
Yeah, there's about 4 out of maybe 30 that survived from the egg.
I wonder why that is. Like, I don't know.
I'm not sure. Do the same thing with them as the rest of them that come out as 100 or more.
Right.
So.
Because like the placots and the half moons, we've got those things kind of up to our ears with those things.
Yeah, right now growing out, we have about 100 of the half moon placots, placket, however you want to say it.
I say placat.
I'd say placket.
Just like pleco, beta,
pleco.
We can argue about that all night.
Yeah. For sure.
So like we've got, we're not the ones to keep betas in like those little half-gallon containers. Sometimes it's unavoidable, but only if it's temporary. But like we've got a lot of 5 gallons that we use for breeding.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of 5 gallons. That's usually how we set them up. To get them started seeing each other and courting is we usually start with a 5 gallon. That seems to be the ideal because you don't want to keep a beta anything less than a 5 gallon anyways, but that seems to be good for it starting to grow out.
Right.
For the fry. And enough room for the male and the female.
Yeah, because I know like when I did it, it was like I'd only done it a couple times. You're the master as far as I'm concerned on breeding betas. I just wanted to try it just as basically just to say I could do it.
I think it's because I have more patience than you, because it definitely is not an easy task. It's something you have to stay on top of and be super patient with.
Be impatient? No.
Never you impatient.
I got all the patience in the world. What are you talking about? See, you've only been on my live stream for 5 minutes. You're already telling my secrets.
I'm sorry. You didn't make me promise I wouldn't give you a hard time. So.
That's true. I didn't.
That's your own fault.
If you didn't give me a hard time, I think something was wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, pretty much our end game really is to sell to the local fish store. right? I mean, are we?
Yeah, I'd say that most of them that we breed are fish store quality. They're probably like a A- specimen. Some of them have some not so good fin shape. Not anything horrible, but just maybe not a show quality.
Right.
But that I'm hoping that's going to change since we have our new betas. That I have a pair. Hopefully, we have a secret breeding project on our KG Tropical betas.
That's are we doing a secret breeding project?
Maybe. I mean, it's not secret anymore if I said it, but maybe I'm doing a secret one from you, and I bought some and you don't know about it.
Wouldn't surprise me with all the Amazon packages that show up at the house every day.
Yeah.
What did you order this time? I don't remember.
No. Yeah. The betas has been a good experience. So a lot of trial and error, a lot of different learning from having males and females that aren't compatible to having young males that are super awkward and don't know how to rap with the female, and they try and just can't get it, and you have to change them out. We usually give them a few days, and if they haven't figured it out, then it's either time to change the male, usually if the male's awkward, right, or to go ahead and change the female for sure.
Yeah, we've had some females that have been pretty nasty to the males too.
Oh yeah, I've had a couple females that have actually beat up the males because they're ready to go, and the male, even though it's built a bubble nest and shows interest, it is not ready to go.
Basically like, come on, let's go. Yeah. What's wrong with you?
Some of them girls, or they can't wait. When I'm courting them, they just go ahead and drop the eggs. And then we have to start all over again. It's crazy.
And they're kind of like the cichlids in the way, like they can eat the eggs potentially if they.
Oh yeah, that's
why.
That's one of the main reasons to take the female out after they're done. Besides, the male will become very territorial of the nest and of the eggs. But the males are known to eat them too, especially if it's a young male that doesn't really know what he's doing yet. He will totally eat the eggs.
Right. As far as like pulling the male out when the babies are ready, if that's something I've really never got to see. I've probably never asked you, even though we do live together, but there's still things like I haven't asked you about breeding betas, like taking the male out before he eats the babies. Like, could that happen?
Oh, for sure. I usually wait till they're free swimming if the male hasn't shown any signs. But as soon as they're not just bobbing, when they're actually like swimming, or they're not just dropping to the bottom, right, that's usually when I take the male out. If he hasn't shown signs of eating them, you have to watch it because it can go from one day he's fine taking care of them, and then the next day he is snacking.
That's what you don't want.
Yeah.
So I know, like we do a lot of baby brine shrimp, as far as like feeding the fry and stuff. I mean, they can pretty much eat it till they're almost juveniles, right?
Yeah, we feed it to them for a long time, for probably their first couple months. Yeah. Feed them the baby brine shrimp. And that's a lot to keep going, but it's one of the most beneficial, nutritious foods for them is fry.
Yeah.
The live ones, they seem to take more to the live baby brine shrimp than the frozen because their natural hunting abilities are just as moving, so they're like food. So,
yeah, because they're like moving, they're like moving around, or I don't even know what it looks like when they move around, but so it looks like they're shaking, like when you have them in a cup or whatever, Yes. Weird. It's weird.
All their little legs, they're very, very moving.
And of course, it's really weird because we have that breeding station from Aquarium Co-op, that big blender, and it's it's full of brine shrimp. It looks like a science experiment.
Literally, yeah. And from the time that the eggs hatch, and then all of a sudden you have orange water because there's so many baby brine shrimp.
I remember one
It's
time
crazy.
we put too much in there. We were trying to have it come out, and it clogged up the dispenser because there's so many brine shrimp in it.
Yeah, brine shrimp for days,
Yeah.
which was good because we feed them to the baby axolotls too when I have those growing out. So
And how long does it take, from egg to young adult? Like, how long would it take a beta to grow?
it really depends a lot on temperature, how well they eat, how clean the water is. But they're gonna be an egg for 2 to 3 days. Then they're gonna turn into the little bobbers, and then to a free swimming, and then they're gonna stay small for a little while. But then they're gonna start to grow rapidly, and within a few months, I mean, you can have almost full grown in 4 months. So you figure the batch we have right now is about 5 months old,
Yeah.
and they're almost 80% of them is ready
Yeah,
ready
they're
to cup.
pretty big. Yeah.
They're starting to get aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to start separating some of them.
Yep, there's definitely some aggression going on. Definitely.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pretty ones though too. This batch, the current batch we have right now, are a lot of marbles, which are cool. I like the marbles. And then the few crown tails from the other batch we had, and then there's a few from another batch that are koi that are beautiful.
Right. I know some of the koi because I mean it's like pretty much every day they change colors.
Yes.
And I actually did see a question in the chat. Mr. GRB from Australia. What temp do you keep your breeding betas at?
I keep them at 80 degrees. Yeah. I keep them at 80. That's a healthy to keep them alive and well and healthy is the 80 degree. And that's where I keep the breeding tank as well, because the female's going to breed or drop eggs properly, be ready to breed the warmer the water is as well. Yeah.
Awesome.
For sure. Oh yeah, the crickets are extra chirpy tonight. Sorry about that. You got it coming from
they're all
two different microphones tonight.
And you're sitting in the room where all the crickets actually are at. So
Yes, I am, because of all the reptiles behind me.
So you guys are getting some extra loud cricket serenades tonight.
Yeah.
So those eggs, what I did, I noticed it took them probably like a couple days to hatch, or is it more?
Again, it depends on your temperature of your water, but most of ours start hatching in about 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 2 days you'll start seeing little tails hanging down out of the bubble nest. It's so cute. It's very exciting when you start seeing all the little tails.
It's exciting, but it's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. Like with all the little tails hanging down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just think like that many eggs come out of that small of a fish.
Yeah.
But it's like hundreds. It could be hundreds. Depending.
Yep. If you have a full batch, a full drop, and everybody makes it, and everybody gets fertilized, and the male doesn't eat them, or the female doesn't eat them, then you can for sure end up with betas coming out of your ears.
Yeah. What's our biggest clutch been?
Let me see. I know we had one that was around 130, but I think the biggest was around 160.
160.
It was a little more, yeah. Which that's trying to count little grains of sand. So that's just an estimate.
You seem to be able to do it pretty good.
Yeah.
I look at it and I go cross-eyed, and you're like, oh yeah, there's 160 in it.
Again, it goes back to the patience.
Yeah. Me, me, I'm just like, just hatch, and so I can start feeding you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I like my cichlids, because they eggs stay in the parent's mouth until they're free swimming, and then they're out. They come out, they're ready to eat.
Yeah, and then you only have like 30 of them, not 100 or more.
Yeah. Crickets are loud tonight.
I know. I don't hear them in here with me though. Maybe it's all in there with you.
No, it's because
No.
the headphones are, like, for you, the headphones are noise canceling.
I know. I'm just.
Yeah.
I know. You put crickets in your fish tank.
I mean, when I had Oscars, I did.
I know. The Oscars did.
Yeah.
For sure. I see another question.
From Halo. What is the recommended tank size for a giant beta? I might sign up for a giant koi galaxy.
You could still go with the minimum 5-gallon, but I would say bigger than a 5-gallon. Just because they are bigger, maybe go with at least a 10.
I would say 10.
At least a 10. Yeah.
No less than 5. Then.
Yeah, no less than 5.
If 5 is what you can get, then go with 5. If you can get a 10, I would do that. Yeah. RV says crickets take him back to when he had frogs and toads. Mr. Mike's Aquatics and Things. Eric and Dory, any plans to start a website or happy in content?
I think we're having content with the local fish stores for now. That's more than enough. I mean, we run our own business. We are already super busy, and we do this hobby is like another full-time business, but it's a pleasure. It's something we take a lot of joy in. I don't know if I really want to go into the shipping aspect.
And that's something I always worry about is, like, if we were to get, like, more into the business part of it, that it wouldn't be fun for us anymore,
Yeah.
And that would kind of kill the hobby for us. I always worry about that. That's why, like, every time I'm on somebody's stream and they have somebody on there that owns a fish store, I always ask them, like, how do you feel owning a fish store versus just being a hobbyist?
Yeah. And if we can be a hobbyist and breed some and make money back, because when we give them to a local fish store, we don't get actually like cash for them. We just get store credit because we're not an actual business, which is perfectly fine because with all the animals we have, we need plenty of feeders and plenty of different things for cages and enclosures and tanks and which is perfectly fine.
Store credit for supplies never hurt anybody.
No. So, and then of course we keep the cream of the crop. That's why we have 5-gallon tanks everywhere.
5-gallon tanks everywhere, reptile enclosures everywhere.
Yes. Yes. Why
not?
not?
I think the only rooms in our house that don't have fish tanks in them are the bedrooms.
Yeah, we have kept it to the main part of the house, But we might have a problem when we get rid of our couch to put up reptile rack like we just did.
To be fair, the dogs messed the couch up though, so it had to go out anyways.
They did, but we haven't got a new one yet. So
our wonderful fur children.
Yes.
Tearing stuff up when we're not home.
Our giant fur children. Yeah.
Let's see. I am looking at a list of questions, you guys, because I can't remember anything when whenever I'm put on the spot, I can't remember anything. So yes, I am looking at a list of questions. So don't make fun of me.
I mean, you could make fun of him. I give you permission, but.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can make fun of me, But...
Yeah.
So what do we do, like, if the male can't keep the eggs in the nest? Like,
we've had that problem before where the male can't keep the eggs in the nest. He just isn't a very good nest builder, or they just keep falling for some reason. Usually when that happens, what I'll do is I'll lower the water in the tank so he doesn't get it exhausted going up and down. Because we start them with about 5 to 6 inches of water in the 5-gallon tank. And then as needed, I'll take some out just to give him a little bit less of a trip back and forth, because he's spent all day and all night going up and down, up and down, up and down, keeping those eggs in.
Haha, Mike, I'm going to kick you out of the chat here in a minute. Maybe lose my train of thought.
Yes.
See, that's why I need to not look at the chat.
No. Did you already tell them that you like Culture Club?
That was catfish Terry that thought he was funny doing that.
Oh, okay.
Anyways. Yes. So we have to change water pretty often, like when we have beta babies, right? Like I'd say like we were doing it every day when we were
a percentage of it, yeah, just to keep it, or going through with like a turkey baster and getting out any dead fry or uneaten food, any kind of debris,
poop and all that stuff.
Oh yeah. And then I always just added back in as much as I took out to keep it at the same level.
Right.
Yep.
And we keep a heater in there with them too, right?
Yep. That's what we keep it at 80 degrees, and I also keep it covered keep all the humidity in.
And we use like that. We use the press and seal stuff, right?
The press and seal wrap on the top.
Yeah. That way, no air gets in or out.
Yeah, because if you get cold drafts in there, the betas can actually get respiratory issues, and that can, because they are. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the word. What is the word?
Labyrinth breathers.
Yes.
See, I actually knew something about that.
You did. I'm glad you did, because I completely lost it. It's not a word I say every day.
Yeah. I mean, I could always bring out the word that I always tease you with.
No.
Why not?
No. Yeah, but the press and seal is great for keeping in the humidity in the tank. Great.
It's a lot stronger than just regular saran wrap too. Like
for sure.
Saran wrap, you can just like barely touch it and poke a hole in it. You know.
Right, and then you can pull back the corner and put some food in and put it back.
But for somebody like me who has Hulk hands, who likes to break everything,
yeah.
It's
Yes.
I can't help it. I work with my hands. I got strong hands. I can't help it.
Yes.
This has been fun. I literally talk to you every day, like because we live in the same house. But this is actually really fun. Like I'm having a good time.
It's really weird, actually.
It doesn't even feel like we're in the same house.
Awkward. You know? No, I mean it doesn't look like we're in the same house.
No.
And then the lighting in my room makes me look super white, and you look all tan, like you've been at the beach.
You look like you're sitting in the bat cave or something.
Yeah. I mean that's cool. I like it. For sure. What about I mean, I know we're talking about breeding betas, but what about other things that we've bred, like you breeding the cichlids? I know it's a completely different concept.
Right.
Completely different.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, it's still like you were saying in the beginning, it's all about, clean water and proper temperatures and what you feed them.
Yeah,
I mean, like
the same.
What you feed them, like what you feed them to get them to breed matters a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you just feed them some kind of cheap food, that doesn't really have any nutritional value. they may still breed because I mean cichlids love to breed, but
Right.
the better quality food you feed them, the more chance you're going to have of like ones that typically are more difficult to breed, getting them to breed.
Right.
At least in my experience,
Right.
because like I order food from this guy Ron Deemers. You guys probably saw the video I did, the unboxing video of the fish. Well, he makes his own food too, and I order food from him. It's like $50 for a 2-pound bag, but that stuff is like pure gold. I mean, I've had more success breeding my cichlids when they're on that food than anything else.
That's good, and I'm sure that mixed with the extreme, that really helps.
Yeah, and the extreme. I mean, the extreme. I've been a fan of extreme for a long time, and besides the fact that my favorite place to order online carries it, that makes it even better. But
Right. Yeah. Yep. But I definitely dig breeding the bettas. It's cool. You don't know what you're gonna get. I mean, you know what you're getting, kind of, but you still get all different colors. Let's see. Do you breed infusoria as a first feed for fry, or do you find baby brine shrimp is sufficient as first food? I've done vinegar eels. I've tried in the beginning for the first couple of days, but I mean, after they're free swimming, they're gonna have their. What are you doing over there?
I don't like the smell of vinegar eels.
I know he hates it. What was it? After the first couple of days, they're on their yolk sac anyway, still getting that nutrition. So I usually do go straight to brine shrimp. I've tried, like I said, the vinegar eels before, but I think I have better luck with just going straight to the brine shrimp. And that's what I've had the most success with. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, the vinegar eels do smell very bad. They're very cool. It's a process to get them out, though, because you have to put them through they live in vinegar, literally just live in vinegar. And, or was it apple? It was the apple cider vinegar and apple pieces we would keep in it. And they're these itty bitty little worms. And you have to put it through like a coffee strainer. What is that called? A coffee filter. Coffee filter. You have to run it through the coffee filter. And then you have to put the coffee filter into fresh water, and they come off of it into the fresh water, and then you can feed from that. Yeah. It is a little bit of a process, because you don't want all the vinegar going in the water.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the brine shrimp are definitely a lot easier than that. You just dispense them, rinse them out with tank water, and then you're good to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never tried the infusoria. Vinegar eels is the only thing I've ever tried outside of the baby brine shrimp.
I don't even know what infusoria is. Do you?
I want to say it's like something that lives in the water, and you put with plants maybe, and then in the light, then it turns to little microscopic It's like a little microscopic organisms. I'm not sure.
Right.
I know I read something on it a long time ago, but it's nothing I've ever had.
All right.
Hands-on experience with. So.
Right.
Just like Daphnia, I heard that Daphnia is awesome. If you can start a culture of that, get a starter culture, and the Daphnia work good as well. They're like little water fleas. But personally, I've only done the eels, the vinegar eels, and the baby brine shrimp. Microscopic bugs. There it is.
There it is. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, Xanadu.
I knew it was some kind of microscopic organism. Wasn't sure. Exactly. I mean, and there's the little like powder fry food and stuff you can buy, but I never had luck with that. And all it did was dirty up the water.
Yeah.
I mean, the baby brine shrimp at least stay alive for a little bit in the fresh water, but I don't know, any of the little grinded up flake foods and stuff that we've tried, We haven't ever had luck with those.
Yeah, I haven't cared for using like especially like that Hikari, whatever that powder stuff that they got.
Yeah.
We use that. I didn't care for that at all. Like it more of it sticks to your finger than
Yeah.
anything else. I mean, yeah, I guess I could have got like a little spoon or something and did it that way, but I mean,
Yeah.
I don't like that stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'd rather just use like baby brine shrimp or like the extreme nano. It's pretty small for my cichlid fry. It's
Oh, that's
small.
what you're feeding the baby dolphins or the
Yeah,
OPs? Which ones was it? The
well, that's what I was feeding the OBs when they were that small, but they're getting the regular. They're getting the peewee stuff now.
right.
But and I just ordered from that Ron guy I was telling you all about. I just ordered some fry food from him, and those are like really small, but they're still granules. It's not a powder; it's granules.
Right.
So I'm gonna see how they do with that tomorrow.
The granules. I mean, the powder it just sits on top of the water too.
Yeah.
And they're not going to go up to eat something that's not moving or that's not at least dropping. So at least with the granules, they have like a slow sink that they're actually going to sink down. And then I guess maybe it like mimics a live thing maybe moving through.
Yeah.
So
I saw a question up here. Rose Aquatics, how many betas do you have?
ooh.
That's a question for you.
That is a question for me. I mean, with grow out, I mean, adults, we only have, well, adults that we've used to breed and that we've kept. We just took some to local fish store a couple weeks ago. She usually will take a bunch of moose from us at one time instead of ordering some. We have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 maybe. Males and females, because I have a small sorority that I keep my breeding females in. And then we have the 100 grow outs that are about to have to be put into their own little houses. So we definitely have more than our share of betas.
Yeah. I've been thinking about that though. Like since we're kind of freeing up some space now, I want to build a beta rack. Like one for like the
real
grow-outs where we want to put in like so we can get like at least like just for them because they're not going to be in there permanently. We get like little 1 gallon containers and just keep them there until they're ready to go to the local fish store.
That's why I've seen people use like the Beanie Baby containers is what they call them. I don't think those are a gallon though. Just like small. I know it's hard to keep up with that many, and I don't know how people. I've kept up with about 50 in individual containers, and that was crazy.
Yeah. I remember that. We didn't even have a rack. There were just like different containers all over the house.
Everywhere.
It was insane. Like everywhere you walk, you're like
and going through like twice a day with the little turkey baster and sucking out all the poop. It was crazy.
Yeah, I don't know how Lisa from KG Tropicals does 400.
I don't know. I can't even imagine. That sounds overwhelming. But hey, it works. It's not that. You just have to stay on top of it. As long as you stay on top of it, then you're not going to have any problems. It's when you let it go for a few days and then you have to do full water changes. Definitely don't recommend slacking if you ever try to do betas because it can go downhill super quick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got to stay on top of it.
Yeah.
I guess with it, like with anything else, yeah.
Clean water makes the fish world go round.
For sure. Sure.
I know Mike from Florida Fish Rescue is saying that Ron's cichlid food is great, but it's not as great as an all-around food perfect for Africans, but not so great for South Americans and other types. And I get that. Like you, like running a fish rescue, like I could see that because you've got various things, and you're trying to feed stuff and not,
oh yeah,
and not single out one particular thing, but like, I mean, I only feed the Rons to my Africans, which are these guys right behind me, and my Lake Victorians, which are right in front of me that y'all can't see. That's the only ones that gets the Ron's food. The rest of them I do either extreme or New Life Spectrum flakes and floating pellets is what I usually use for the rest of my stuff. But anyways,
Yes. They should appreciate water changes. They get super happy. Yes, they do. It's kind of like us taking a shower. I mean, they live in their own excrement.
But yeah, I mean, they're swimming around and
Gotta keep them clean.
Swimming around in a glass box full of poop.
Oh yeah.
It's much. RB said when he lived in Florida, he had over 200 bettas.
Oh my gosh.
So, I mean, we're close to that right now with our grow outs.
A little. But right now, with the grow outs are still in a tank together, it's manageable.
Yeah. Like you said here, before long, it's going to be time to separate them.
And that's when we'll start taking them to the fish store again.
That's when they start being jerks.
Yeah, because you don't want them to start nipping each other's fins or beating each other up. Yeah. Yeah. And our local fish store goes through bettas very quickly. We have 2 in town. We only deal with 1. But she goes through, I'd say 20 to 30 a week is what she gets in. And she usually is down to only a few. Bettas are very popular around here. And she brings in nice ones. She doesn't, I don't want to say nice ones because there are a lot of pretty veil tails. But she specifically doesn't carry veil tails. She only goes with but she has like the half moons and the placots. Is that how you say it? And crown tails. And then she gets every so often some dumbos.
You say bimbos or dumbos?
Dumbos.
I was going to say, what are you trying to...
Stupid.
Sorry, it's... I can't help myself sometimes.
Yeah, apparently. But she goes through quite a bit, so... Which, I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean...
They just don't sell them to anybody. I've heard them not sell to people. And they recommend, at least a 5-gallon. I don't even think they sell smaller than 5-gallon tanks. They might have like 2.5 gallons, a couple usually for... they definitely are one of the ones that does the right thing as far as trying to get people to take care of them properly. Yeah,
sure. That's why we give her our business, because she's that way. Like, I mean, the other one, Petland, they'll sell somebody an Oscar and a 5-gallon tank all in the same day.
Probably. But that's the unmentionable place that we don't go.
I mean, it used to be good because I had a friend of mine that used to work there in the fish department, and he used to keep it up.
Yeah,
really
he would
good.
take care of them specifically, but once he left, then...
But once he left, it went to crap, and then they started, I don't know why, but they started, selling dogs again. And that's when I just, Stick to what you're good at.
Yeah.
They had dogs a long time ago, and they got rid of them. Because they're charging like $3,000 to $4,000 a dog.
A dog, yeah. Yeah.
And good Lord, it's like, how? Anyways.
Yeah. Don't go off on that tangent.
Rewind, delete it. Mr. Kenny, how are you, sir? So I've been asking you about bettas all night. Why don't you ask me some questions about cichlids?
Oh, I don't know anything about cichlids. Cichlids are not my forte.
What would you want to know about them?
That's why you have half of the house for your stuff, and I have the other half of the house for my stuff.
That's funny.
I mean, I've seen. Oh, our dog's barking. Sorry. So I've seen how they put the eggs in their mouth, right?
Yeah.
So the female lays the eggs on the ground, and then the male goes over it and fertilizes it.
The female will drop the egg. The male will go over it, fertilize it. Then the female. I was about to say female.
The female.
See, now you got something to make fun of me about.
Yep.
Anyways, the female will come back around, pick it up in her mouth, and she's got like a little cavity right past where her, right at where her throat starts.
Right.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's this cavity where all the eggs go. Because like you'll see her when she first picks them up, or, she'll be like, just swimming around the tank looking like she's about to explode. But then a couple days later, she'll situate them in that little cavity, and you'll sometimes like I'll think that she spit them out. I'll be like, oh man, she spit them, but no, she didn't.
No.
Because you can see like sometimes she'll adjust her mouth and you can see them in there.
Yeah. Or sometimes she'll have a mouthful of food or rocks.
Yeah, I've taken one out. I've taken one out to strip one time, and she had a mouthful of crap.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So how long do they keep them in their mouth?
Anywhere from 17 to 21 days is what I've seen. I've been pulling them early lately, just because I don't have the tank space to like have an actual like maternity tank, I guess you would call it, right now. So I mean I could, but you won't let me. Anyways.
Yeah, but, we don't have room. We got to get a bigger house first.
Anyways, so I've been like, I'll wait. Like if I notice they're breeding, I'll wait a week or like 3 or 4 days at least, and then pull her out and strip the eggs and put her back in. So that way, because like if they go 3 days without eating, that's not going to hurt them. But if they go 3 to 4 weeks, then you gotta. If
they go the whole that 17 to 21 or 3 weeks,
you gotta
without
pull them
eating.
They'll go 3 weeks without eating.
Wow.
Even if they take anything in their mouth, they're not going to get it. The fry's going to get it if it's in the slightest any way formed.
Right.
But so like you got to take her out, strip the eggs from her.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got to keep her in like a quarantine tank and keep feeding her so she'll get her strength back. Because if I were to throw a female back in here, they'd tear her apart.
Dude.
Especially if they realize that she's weak from not eating for 3 weeks, they'll tear her apart.
Yeah, no bueno.
Yeah.
No, I know. I've seen when you've stripped them. I've seen them in the what is it called?
The tumbler.
When you put them in the tumbler, and they start growing their little tails and little heads, and then they just have their little egg sac on them still.
Yeah, it's fun to watch them. It's fun to watch, like cool. What do you call it, like the metamorphosis or like the evolution, I guess you would call it. Of like from just like little egg to then you'll start seeing like a little tail come out, and then the head, and then all of a sudden they're like trying to swim with this big old beach ball thing on them. And,
and then they finally can start swimming when that goes away.
And that's when you pull them out of the tumblers when there's no more egg sac, because that egg sac sustains them until it's gone.
Yeah. And then what do you feed them after that? I know we were talking about that a few minutes ago, the fry food, but they go straight to a fry food. I guess they're not as small.
Yeah, they're not as small. I mean, like I usually start with baby brine shrimp for like the first week, and if I notice them doing well with that, I might start, because I feed them twice a day.
Right.
I might start like switching off between like baby brine shrimp in the morning or like the little nano pellet food at night.
Right.
Just to get them, used to the pellet food, because that's ultimately what I feed when they're adults is pellet.
Right. And they adjust to that pretty well. They usually take right to it. I know I've seen the nano go pretty quick in the
Yeah.
the baby OBs when I feed them.
Oh yeah.
They love that stuff. Yeah. But cichlid seems to grow a lot slower.
They do. Well, I mean, if you get like the imbunas, which we don't have any more of, they grow pretty quick.
They grow quick.
Yeah, but like, and I mean, peacocks grow at a pretty decent rate. Haps grow a little slower, and they're also a little bit more difficult than peacocks to breed. They're a little more finicky with their, with what they require.
Right.
But the slowest growing fish I have is those two frontoses that I have.
Yes.
Like I bought them when they were probably like maybe 3 inches, and now I've had them for it's been like 2 years now, right?
It's been at least, I'd say 2 years at least.
Yeah. It's been like 2 years, and like they're just now. Let's see if I can find one in here. There's one. He's probably pushing like 4 or 5 inches right now.
Yeah, and that's at 2 years old. And
they
and how big do they get?
They'll get to like 10 to 12 inches, I believe. I mean, you saw those ones that Blue Water.
Oh yeah.
The male and female pair, they were like,
they were about a foot.
They're almost the size of footballs.
Yeah, they were beautiful, and they had the big hump on their head.
Yeah.
Is there like an actual name for that, or is it just like a hump?
I've heard it called many different things, and the one thing that I think is hilarious, I'm not going to say on here because.
Okay. No.
But I just call it a beach ball, like especially on the.
Ball.
I just call, especially on the. What do you call it?
Well, like when you see flower horns, I mean that's like
I call that a beach ball.
Yeah. Huh. I didn't know if there was. I'm sure there's a.
There is. I'll tell you what it's called after the stream.
Okay. That's funny.
Yeah.
So which other ones grow that? Do you have any other ones that grow the beach ball or the hump on their head? I know the frontosas.
No, I don't. Not any of the Africans that I have. No, just the frontosas.
Yeah. Cool.
And then South Americans. I mean, I've got like the parrotfish. I mean, they get a little bit of a hump, but not nothing crazy.
Right.
Yeah, KOK is what it's called, but I mean,
KOK.
But it's pronounced like something else.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. See, there it is. Mike's collection thing. Nuchal hump. I guess that's how you pronounce it. It's better than pronouncing the other one. But
yeah.
I mean, that's what it's called.
I shouldn't have asked.
That's what it's called. I can't help it. That's what some person like way the heck back like millions of years ago decided they were going to call it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't even say the N one. The Nurchal hump.
Nurchal hump.
Yeah.
That's a better way. That's a better term for it.
Yeah. Than a KOK.
Or yeah, you can just call it the KOK.
I'll just go with the KOK. I can say that.
That's fine.
I just won't enunciate the abbreviation. Yep. I don't know how we got into all that, but anyways.
You started it. You asked what it was called. So.
Well, pronounced like nuckle. Knuckle?
Knuckle.
Knuckle?
Knuckle hump.
Knuckle hump. That sounds pretty good. I can deal with that.
Yeah. Or like Terry said, it's Nucle.
Nucle?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Meanwhile, back at the farm,
Meanwhile, what?
I said, meanwhile, back at the farm, meaning let's change the subject.
Okay.
Anyways,
Tell me how long it takes for the ones to grow. Like, how long have the ones that we have right now in the grow out tank of yours, the OBs?
Yeah.
How long have they been in there?
I've had those for probably 4 or 5 months, I would say.
And they're what, like
And they're
2
like
to
the
3
biggest.
inches?
The biggest one in there is probably 2.5, maybe 3 inches.
Yeah.
And then I have those two second generation, the male and female dolphin pair that they're about 3 inches, so they're probably the biggest ones in there actually. But
Awesome. And what about the dolphins?
what about them?
You have the 2 in there. Is that what you said?
That's what I just said. Yeah, that's it. See, you're not even listening to me.
I got sidetracked doing what I'm not supposed to do, reading the chat.
Yeah, see?
I got, yeah, I don't know. I can't even read some of them. Oh, okay.
Yes, I have those 2 dolphins in there. They're second generation from the very first time I bred my dolphins.
Right.
Those are kind of slow growers too. Like I've had
Yes.
them for the better part of like 7, maybe 8 months, and they're like 3 inches right now. So
Right.
yeah.
But the 2 you have, the pair that they came from in the tank behind you.
Yeah, they're right there actually.
They have taken a long time to get to that size.
Yeah, because I bought them when they were the size of the fry that I have right now.
And they definitely took a while to grow.
Like he's about 6 or 7 inches, and she's probably like 4 or 5, maybe 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite cichlids though.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife can derail me pretty easy. Anybody else is pretty hard to.
That's funny.
See what I got to see? I'm glad you're here. So you see what I got to put up with all these, with all these people now. They're all torturing in here. No, I'm just kidding.
It's funny. I'm glad they do. I feel like I have a whole team behind me that keeps you in line.
Nah, this is an awesome group of people.
Yes.
So we've been flapping our gums for a while. Let's why don't you? I'm gonna just kind of keep talking about cichlids, and if you want to ask me some questions, go ahead. Why don't you look for some questions in the chat and see? Look for some questions. Huh? Killing me, Smalls.
Oh my gosh!
Keep asking me questions about cichlids, and we'll look for questions in the chat. How about that?
Is there any questions?
Not
There's
right
more
now.
Boy George.
Yeah,
Boy George
Boy
likes
George.
knuckle humps. Yeah. Yep.
I'm scratching in my mind. I'm scratching my nose with a certain finger right now.
Oh man.
I'm pulling a butcher. I'm pulling a butcher and a carver.
Oh.
Scratch.
So you don't have any more questions about bettas? You know everything about them?
I think I do know everything about them now.
Huh?
I said I think I do know everything about them.
I mean, you do, yeah.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know nearly enough about them, honestly.
I mean, and I still learn stuff all the time too. That's the one thing about this hobby that I like, is that I'm forever learning new things about fish.
It's like I always say. It's if you think you know everything, it's time to find a new hobby.
Yeah, we definitely don't know everything.
Let's see. Sandy Farrell had a question. How long do peacocks grow? How fast do peacocks grow? They're average. I mean, they're not super fast growers, but they're not super slow growers. Like I've this guy right here. He's my oldest fish. I've had him for going on 2 years, and he's full size. He's not going to grow any more than that. But so I mean, I'd say by about 2 years, they're fully grown for most peacocks.
So
Fish minions. So does that mean you're going to run around saying banana all the time? Didn't think I knew about the minions.
Yeah. The minions. So let's see. Oh, there's another question. Look.
From Vitra.
Yep.
Can you have a male and a female beta in the same fishbowl?
No. Only if you want to breed them, and then you would only keep them together for just a very short period of time. And you'd have to condition them before putting them together, but they do not live well together. Usually the male will tear up the female, her fins, for sure.
And just no fish bowls.
Yeah. You can have multiple females together. I mean, sororities tend to work out okay. Sometimes you'll get some of the girls that are mean. I've had some of those.
Got a question from Miss Sandy Farrell. That's remember me talking about Brienne, the young girl that's on here?
Yeah.
This is her mother, Sandy.
Okay. Awesome. Best way to introduce two betas to breed is you will take the male out of his tank and set up another 5-gallon and put him in it. Just a bare bottom and with like an Indian almond leaf and maybe one fake plant, just so there's something in there. And I let him stay in there by himself for a couple hours. And then I'll move the female that I've chosen to go with him into a cup or a vase or some kind of glass that you can put into the tank and that he can swim around to where they can see each other fully, but they can't get to each other because they've got to get acquainted, or courting is what it's called. And I usually do that for a couple days. I take her out at night, that way if she's getting stressed, then she can relax. And then I put her back in the next day. And you want to make sure that they're interested in each other. You can tell by their body language. Like if the female's all clamped up or just sitting on the bottom, she's definitely not interested in the male. She might not be ready to breed. The male might not show any interest in her, and he may not be ready to breed. So I know I've gone through a few interchangeable males and females just trying to find the right pair that's ready to breed. So
Awesome.
That's how I do it anyways. That's what, over trial and error, I've done it in different size tanks, but you do it with the 5, and then that way you can just keep him in it until the fry are free swimming, and then you can take him out and put him back in his tank. For sure.
How many eggs is a beta spawn, or how many babies can we expect?
I mean, you can get upwards to over 100, 150. I've heard of larger spawns. The ratio of living really just depends on how well the male takes care of them, how well you take care of them. I mean, like I said, this last one, it was probably around 120, and we ended up with about 100 fry that are living and grown. So
Yeah, because you'll have some die off.
yeah, our luck's been about 75, 80%.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I mean, you try to save them all, and you want as many as you can.
Yeah.
But
I remember like when I was doing my little project with them, like you were telling me like to make sure and watch them like as they get bigger, because like the bigger ones will try to stop the smaller ones from eating. Or they'll put out like a, was it like a hormone or a pheromone in the water or something that like
Yeah, as they're growing.
Stop them from growing or whatever.
They release something that they release that it's literally like it stops make the other ones grow. That's why you have to do frequent water changes with the babies. Usually about after 10 days, I start doing water changes.
That blew my. I still can't believe.
Yeah, because it's like their defense mechanism, whatever you want to call it. They want to be the survivor because there's so many of them, and there's going to be a limited amount of food in the wild. So that's like how they're programmed.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But it's definitely a rewarding experience. They're super cute.
Yeah. And Xanadu said he's had spawns of 20 up to 200 early small live food for the first week or two. It's critical for high survival.
Yes, that's why I always say the live food. That's why we do the baby brine shrimp right from the beginning.
It's a great all around food. Just baby brine shrimp. You can feed it to pretty much anything.
Yeah, that's what we do with the bettas, the axolotls, the cichlids. I'm trying to think what else. Is there anything else we fed it to? Cichlids, bettas, axolotls.
We don't really feed it to any of the saltwater fish.
No, I haven't had any baby saltwater fish.
We feed the regular size brine shrimp to the saltwater fish.
Yeah.
I mean, I put it in. I used to feed it to my German blue rams when I had them, but that's a whole nother road I don't want to go on because I'm officially done. I'm officially done with German blue rams now.
Yeah. You tried, and I mean that's what even.
I tried a couple handful of times. I've tried them, and it's that one fish that I just cannot keep alive.
Yeah.
This last time I did the best though, because I had them in a tank all by themselves, and I had the temperature right. It was planted. It was perfect, and they still I mean, I know the ones you buy in the store most of the time they got so many bad genes in them. You literally have to breed them to breed the bad genes out of them.
Right.
That's what a lot of people.
Right. Unless you can find a good local breeder.
Which the only one around here is about an hour and a half away. In Panama City.
Yeah.
I don't even think she does it anymore. But
I'm not sure.
Warm beta, small amounts of microworms or vinegar eels for the first 3 days.
Like I said, I've tried the vinegar eels, never microworms or the infusoria, anything like that.
Have I tried using an RODI unit? No, I haven't. Something I might try when we move into a new house. I may try it. I really don't want to keep anything that needs that kind of water anymore. I mean, just because it's a whole nother setup, it's an expense, So I don't know. I'm just not sure if it's something I really want to mess with or not.
No. And what fish need that?
They say discus needs
discus.
But then, on the other hand, if you get discus that are farm raised, a lot of times they're not bred in RO water. They're bred in whatever water they have around there. So,
right.
Again, I mean, I don't like going off of things that I hear, but
I know we've never had those or done. Yeah.
But we've never had discus, and I've heard a lot of people, a lot of reliable people say that, it's if they're bred in farm raised instead of wild caught, that they have a better survival rate, better chance of survival than if you were to get wild caught. And see, Jay Oliver says, he keeps his at a 7.5 pH, which is pretty doggone high for them. And they do great. Yeah.
Huh.
We got Mr. Kaler, the codfather. like I said, eventually I will have a discus tank. Probably when we get our new house, I would love to have a discus tank.
Yeah.
Because I want to get a 240 for these guys, and then I want to like maybe either do discus in this tank, or just get like 3 or 4 Oscars and put them in there. And just let them have the tank with nothing else in it.
Yeah, that would be perfect for some Oscars just by themselves.
Yeah. But I really want to do discus though.
I mean, they're beautiful,
Like,
very beautiful. All of them I've ever seen. Only the ones really at the local fish stores, but
yeah.
I'm sure
See,
there's some even prettier ones out there that I haven't seen.
And Mike says he's got his discus running at about 8.2 to 8.5. Wow.
8.2 to 8.5.
Anyways, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. If anybody's got any last minute questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat. If not, I'm gonna go ahead and shut us down here. So I'll give you all about like 30 seconds, and I'm just gonna keep flapping my jaws till then. So, for those aquatics, you can adopt some fish from Florida Fish Rescue? Yeah, I've thought about it. I mean, when that time comes, I just may hit him up, since he's only about 6 or 7 hours away from us. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's it.
Yeah, he's down. Where the heck is he at? Bradenton?
Oh,
Maybe it's a little farther. I don't know. But
awesome.
All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. I appreciate everybody hanging out with us, and y'all be sure and go on over to Danikin's tonight. We're gonna do #Dory for the hashtag. So everybody go over to the Danny and Kenny stream with #Dory.
Yeah. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you guys. Y'all have a great night.